Let me bring the Emmys up first. I was going to start with Demon Slayer, but let's start with the Emmy. Oh, let me bring that up. Hold on a second. I always have to when we're improvising on the fly. I have to always make sure I've got the right thing going on. There we go. Let's bring it up. Put it on the side here. All right. Let me read it to you. Everything that's going on here. So here we go. The Emmys were last night, as Dan said. He did a video for this. The 77th Emmy Awards. Adolescents, the Pitt, and the Studio were the big winners in limited series, drama, and comedy, respectively. We can make it a little bit. Adolescents swept the entire limited series category with 6 wins out of 7. The sole exception being KRISTIAN Milioti winning Best Actress for The Penguin. The Pitt took top drama series along with 2 acting honors for Noah Wyle and Catherine Lanasa. Severance took the other 2 acting honors for Trammell Tillman and Britt Lower, while Andor won for writing and Slow Horses for directing. The Studio took Best Comedy Series, Best Actor in a Comedy. Seth Rogen with writing and directing honors. And the 2 leading ladies of Hacks took acting honors, while Jeff Hiller won for Somebody Somewhere. Ultimately, some of the big shows only landed 1 win. That's Andor, Slow Horses, and The Penguin. But, of course, they also won Creative Artist Emmys last week, or Technical Emmys, and quite a few walked away with none, including The White Lotus, The Bear, The Last of Us, The Diplomat, Abbott Elementary, Paradise, Matlock, Nobody Wants This, Monsters, The Lon Menendez Story, Black Mirror, Dying for Sex, Only Murders in the Building, Shrinking, and The Daily Show. So, Dan, what are your thoughts about the Emmys last night? What do you think happened here? Are you excited for what happened? Like, what's your overall assessment here? Not giving away too much of your video, but what are your thoughts on all of this stuff?
Yeah, no, I was excited. I was kind of expecting, because the Emmys generally, especially when you have these shows that are multiple nominee, 10, 15, 20, 25 nominations,
yeah,
it's like, okay, well, they're going to win. So I was expecting Severance to win most of the drama stuff. Right. Maybe White Lotus pick up a couple acting categories. I was expecting the Studio to just kind of roll through everything in the comedy category,
right?
And then Adolescents to do what it did, which I think is well deserved, because I think that's a very unique and important show, and yeah. It's just, I know it's all subjective, but that was one where sometimes I'm annoyed when one show wins everything.
Yes.
But that one, it was hard for me to look at the other nominees and say, well, I would have put that person over, taken that person out of winning and putting it in there. KRISTIAN Milioti should be very happy that there was no lead actress nominee for Adolescents, because that opened the door to her winning. Right. Something that I did point out in my video, what I loved was you have the Pitt and you have the Studio winning Best Drama, Best Comedy.
Right.
Unless my research department, which is me, failed spectacularly. I believe this is the first year since 1988.
Wow.
Where the winner of Best Comedy and Best Drama were season 1 shows.
Were debut shows.
Shows. It was 30-something and the Wonder Years.
Oh, wow.
Was the last time that happened. So it's great to see the Emmys. They so often fall into that pattern of picking a show and staying with it for 4 or 5, Modern Family, however many times, Game of Thrones, however many times. So It's not that they don't deserve it, but it's hard for the new shows to break in. Yeah. And I love that we got 2 new shows that broke in right off the bat.
Oh, man, I'm so glad to finally talk to you guys about Cash App. I've been using Cash App forever, and now I get to talk to you guys about it. Don't worry. It's very easy, fast to sign up. Do you even know how much interest your money is earning you in your bank account right now? Well, let me tell you some stuff. Cash App can do way more than you think to make your money work for you. If you direct deposit at least $300 in paychecks each month and use the Cash App card for purchases, you can earn up to 4% annual interest on your savings. There's no hidden fees, no minimum balance requirements. Also, you can hit your saving goals even faster by turning on the Roundups feature on your Cash App card with Roundups. Every purchase you make using the card is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and that spare change is automatically put into your savings. Don't let your money sit around and gather dust. Make it work for you. Take advantage of high-interest savings on Cash App today. For a limited time only, new Cash App customers can use our exclusive code and earn some additional cash. For real, just download the Cash App, use our exclusive referral code, Christian, in your profile, send $5 to a friend. Within 14 days, you're going to get $10 dropped right into your account. Terms apply. That's money. That's Cash App. Cash App is a financial service platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partner. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC, direct deposit, roundups, overdraft coverage, and discounts provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosure.
Yeah, The Bear is one that went home empty-handed. A lot of people have been giving a lot of adulation and love and awards love to The Bear. So to see it getting completely wiped out last night was a little surprising. Abbott Elementary had gotten some awards in the past. That didn't get much either. So you're right. These debut shows coming in, and really two completely different types of shows. One more of a procedural, and one, of course, one a little bit more of the inside Hollywood stuff. And you might argue, well, of course, as we know, Dan, Hollywood loves to award itself when it does shows or films about itself. But this one I thought was a really brilliant takedown of Hollywood, while also respecting Hollywood and loving Hollywood at the same time. And that's usually the best kind of criticism, I think, is making fun of something that you love because it has a heart at the center of all the ribbing that you're giving it.
And that's what I loved about the studio is that it's one of the few shows on Apple TV Plus that I actually did sit down and watch. And I loved that it wasn't just, oh, we're going to do a show about Hollywood. I thought it was really smartly written.
Yeah.
And technically,
oh yeah,
really impressively done. And the performances I thought were all really good. So it was a great intersection of, it did have that leg up being about Hollywood, but I think that it actually was also worthy. It wasn't just coasting on the concept or coasting on the idea. Right. And it was one of the funniest shows I saw last year. So it's great to see a comedy series winning in the comedy series category.
A little shot,
which is apparently something you have to worry about now.
That's for sure.
People on my channel are sick of hearing me talk about it, but it does annoy me. It annoys me.
It annoys you that The Bear is in the nomination category?
Yes, it's not a comedy.
Right. It is a drama. That's for sure. There are humorous moments within the show, but it's more about life humor than it is about jokes, right?
Yes, exactly.
I don't disagree with you there. Well, what about the Pit? Are you impressed by what the Pit was able to do? And Severance to a little bit of a lesser degree with some of the acting stuff. What were your thoughts on that?
I mean, they're both really good shows. I like both of them. I like both of them a lot. I think that it was one of those years where it was a really stacked category. I mean, there were a lot of really good things that were up for voting, and I think if you saw the vote totals, they'd be pretty close. I think the Pit, what may have given it the leg up is it is a more, if you want to call it quote unquote traditional show. Yeah, traditional. Severance is a little bit headier. And so I think that may have contributed to the Pit coming in. But again, when you look at the performances that won, and the show itself, I mean, if I was going to rank, I don't watch enough TV to do like a year in ranking for TV shows. But if I was going to rank the shows, I mean, The Pit and Severance would be right up there at the top. I think they're both really, really good shows. I think the letdown that people might be thinking about with Severance is just because it led all shows and nominations. And so there's that expectation that you're then going to, then it's yours to take. But I think it was a pretty healthy competition.
Yeah, I think you talk about The Pit, Andor, The Diplomat, The Last of Us, Paradise, Severance, Slow Horses, The White Lotus. That's a murderer's row of shows. And there are some shows that didn't make the cut that could have arguably made the cut to be included as well. So, I mean, there's a lot of great drama series that are out there, but this is the cream of the crop. If they had given it to Andor or Slow Horses or Severance over The Pit, I would not have been surprised. But the fact that The Pit became like this pop culture thing, like everybody had to watch it, everybody loved it. Noah Wiley coming in, of course, from ER and all these other things that he's done in the past, people had a sentiment for him. He's an older actor now, so he brings much more weight to his delivery. And then all these actors that have come through, some that were building up, some that were kind of known, working together with great chemistry to deliver a fantastic first season. And now everyone's looking forward to the second season, which is like 3 months away. So fascinating stuff.
I assumed that he'd won an Emmy before. When they said this is his first win, I'm like, no. Like, he must have won a supporting Emmy at some point. No, never. So it's great for him, and he really seems to be enthusiastic about the what that show represents. Not just that he's playing this role. Like, he really does seem to be engaged with the reality of it and making sure that it's an accurate portrayal and wanting to do justice to that. To very important people in society. So I like that. And I was happy to see him win.
Yeah, and then Severance getting, of course, Tremel Tillman and Britt Lower being, so there was enough to spread around in the drama category, where it wasn't just like, as you said, like some shows it's just a clean sweep that year. There was enough balance here to give love to Severance, to give love even to Andor with Dan Gilroy's writing, and to give love to The Pit for its performances and for the show overall. I think that's a positive sign about the Academy understanding how great these shows are and awarding these shows in the proper categories.
Yeah, I agree. I was really happy to see Dan Gilroy win with Andor. You know, I think it should have been nominated for more.
Yes, agreed.
I think that Stellan Skarsgård should have been nominated. I think that Genevieve O'Reilly should have been nominated at a minimum. But that's the kind of show where usually a lot of times they get those nominations and the Academy's like, you know, okay, well, see, that's your win. We nominated your little sci-fi show or your little horror show or whatever, and be happy with that and come put on a tuxedo and drink some booze and whatever. I was happy to see that they extended that to the actually and the episode that he won for, which is the Mon Mothma Senate episode, is a great one to choose.
Agreed. More poignant than ever. When you look at the comedy side of things, the studio beat out Abbott Elementary, as you said, The Bear, but also beat out Hacks, which I would argue, like, that is I love Hacks. That is a great show. I was happy to see Gene Smart win. I was happy to see Hannah Einbender win for writing, but like, this is some strong shows here. Shrinking. I loved that What We Do in the Shadows got a nomination. Like, what were your thoughts on the comedy side of things, Dan?
I don't watch it. I haven't watched as many of the ones in that category. Like Hacks, for example, I'm not. I've watched the first few episodes of in the first season, but I haven't caught up with it.
Right.
But What We Do in the Shadows, I think, is a great example of a show that is one of the ones where the Emmys go, your nomination is your win.
Yeah, right. 100%.
That's the kind of show where I think that most people would say, like, well, they're not going to give it to that, even though a lot of people do think that's the funniest show on television.
Yeah.
But you know, Hacks could have become one of those juggernauts. Just like, okay, well, for the next 5 years, it's going to be Hacks, like it was Veep, like it was whatever they chose for some period of time. And I'm glad that they have instead. Now we'll see if the studio becomes that. Now it's very possible.
Yeah, there's a second season coming, supposedly.
Yeah. So we'll see. But I just like to see this year more than almost any other year I can remember. I just love to see how much they spread the love around. And Hannah Einbinder is another one who, because Hacks has won so much, I assumed that she'd already won for the show, and she hadn't. So for her to get a win is great. And I just love to see the variety of different shows last night.
I agree. Lisa Colon-Zayas won for The Bear last year. So Hannah winning this year. I think this was a stronger season for Hannah, so it made sense that she got that edge in the end over some really strong actresses throughout the category. What about Jeff Hiller winning? I mean, I think that was a massive surprise. I think a lot of people thought, because of the Sal Saperstein thing. Can I tell you, I'm so done with that. Thank you, everybody who participated in that. But I'm so happy that they did not do that throughout the Emmys and all of that nonsense. I like that we're done with that kind of stuff. But I thought Ike Barinholtz would absolutely have the edge, or even Harrison Ford over Jeff Hiller. But this was a hell of a shocking win for him. And what a commentary on the show to encourage people to watch the show. And I thought his speech was absolutely fantastic. So, yeah.
And it's great to see one of those actors that you recognize, but you don't know where he was from and you don't know his name. And the fact that he gets a moment in the spotlight and wins over Harrison Ford and you know, even Eben Moss-Backrack, who's always great in The Bear. I mean, he really, I think that's another example of a really stacked category that just became a free-for-all because there were so many different people split between who they're going to vote for.
Yeah.
And the Sal Saperstein thing, I actually read Seth Rogen, someone asked him about it, and I respect what he said. He said, it would be corny for us to go up and make our own joke.
Yep.
While no, we're not going to do that because it would just be, that just seems weird. I'm like, I respect that.
Yep. I agree 100%. When you look at the lead actress, the limited or anthology series stuff, Adolescence winning, as we said already, not a surprise. That seemed like the odds-on favorite there, although the Penguin probably gave it a run for its money to a degree. But Milioti, that was a beautiful minute and a half speech. That was just, as a former actor, seeing an actor win for something that they probably weren't sure they were going to even be nominated for, let alone win. That to me felt such an organic and pure expression of a confirmation that you are good at what you do. And that yell at the end of the speech is just like, you know, that excitement when your team wins and you just happen to be your team. And I thought that was just a fantastic speech. And it did surprise me that she won. I mean, beating out Cate Blanchett, Rashida Jones, Michelle Williams, Megan Fahey, that's not an easy bunch of ladies to be beaten for a category like acting. So she should feel really proud about that. Were you surprised by this win?
Not really. I feel like it was sort of one of those things where she started off as maybe an underdog, but has picked up a lot of momentum. And especially because the Penguin got shut out in so many other categories. I'm sure, I bet that Stephen Graham Colin Farrell race was very tight.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine that was a blowout. I think that some of Adolescence's wins were probably not very close, but that was such a tight race there, and I'm glad that she got the opportunity to win in that category. And it was a great speech. And I was watching at home. I was curious who was making the call on when they were going to put up the losing charity money clock for which winners and who doesn't get it. I was not. I said in my video, I get the bit. It's a funny concept, but I did not like it when they put it on the screen while people were talking, because it just undercuts their moment. Yeah. And then it becomes about the show, and it doesn't become about them. And so I don't necessarily like how they did that. I'm glad they did not choose to do that during her speech, which was very genuine and very heartfelt. And you shouldn't make her feel like she has to rush that moment, as long as she's not Adrian Brodying it up there and doing a 5-minute monologue,
Right. Agreed. Yeah, I thought that was. I mean, I think Nate was. I think it was a little past Nate to host the show. I don't think he was the greatest host. It wasn't as bad as Joe Coy, but I think Nate's I love Nate's stand-ups. Like, I love his stand-ups.
He's great. He's a fantastic stand-up.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I just think the show was a little bit past him at this stage in his career. Like, you look at what Nikki Glaser did, and she killed it. And then Nate just comes along and you can see the difference in hosting. And I agree with you. The Boys and Girls, listen. The Boys and Girls Club is a fantastic charity, and it's awesome that they're helping young people in the situations that they're in. But when you put that up there, in essence, you're undercutting people who are here, as you said, Dan, undercutting people who have. Listen, I know we want to hate Hollywood, and it's cool to hate Hollywood and hate actors and all of that, but let me tell you something. Actors work hard. They work really hard. Their emotions, their creativity, their humanity is on display there when they're trying to win these awards, trying to deliver great work, and then possibly winning awards. They do matter to actors who are in the building. Yes, I know it's cool to crap on awards and cool to crap on actors and whatever, but a majority of actors never make it. 2% of actors make it. 2 to 3%, I think it is what it is, make it. Or no, sorry. 5% of actors make it. 2 to 3% make it at the Tom Hanks type of level, So it's such a brutal and ruthless business. So just kind of dismissing actors, and I know there are some pompous ones, there are some arrogant ones. We cover them on the hot mic every week, but I think it's important to have these moments to let actors say what they need to say. I think there was a better way to do this, because you're in essence saying, hey, if you go too long, you're shitting on children. And I thought that was the dumbest concept I guess it was funny in the pitch, but in the execution is like a bad SNL sketch. And I just thought
that's the thing. Yeah, it was a funny idea. And if they had just kept it to what they did, actually, they still did during the show, which is to check in between speeches where you say, what's the total at right now? And then you look and it's, down to 20,000. That's fine. Right. For me, it was just the idea of putting it up there. And you could also tell that it was on the screen in the theater.
Yes.
So the audience could see it too. And so then the audience is reacting to that, and they're not paying attention to what the person is saying, but leave it to the winner to decide whether because I thought it was great that John Oliver both times they decided they were going to do a really quick one, and then that's fun, but I just think they overplayed that hand a little bit, and it was also really the only bit that they had all night. It was the only real comedy bit, and I read, and this could be wrong, but I was doing some reading, and I read that he had tour dates like Friday night and Saturday night, and so he couldn't be there. If that's fake news, I apologize, but that's just I was trying to kind of read up a little bit on him, and I think he's a great comedian. I really do, but in the amount of stuff and how they employed the bits, and then he just didn't have. And I know that part of it is his persona. Yeah. But you have to be a good award show host. You have to own that room. You have to command that room, command the audience's attention. Yeah. And he didn't. His whole thing's just like, I'm here. What? Yeah, that's the thing. Okay, well, whatever. Anyway, okay. And in the lines, he would garbled a lot of things, and it's like, I'm not, again, he's a funny dude, but if that was intentional because that's his energy, it's just not the right energy for an award show necessarily. No. And if that was sort of being nervous or unprepared, I think that's more what you were saying is like maybe he needs just a little bit more time before he's ready to be the guy on a show like the Emmys or the Oscars.
Yeah, I mean, Nikki's been doing it a long time in terms of being a stand-up and all of that, and so she had to work her way to the point where she was able to deliver a great hosting thing. Oh, I think there's opportunities for Nate in the future if he works on what he's doing here. Because I agree with you. I get that we want to underplay it, and award shows aren't that important. I know that's the cool attitude to have, and I totally get it. But I mean, you're disrespecting people who work really hard at their craft by doing that. And I know it's the cool, popular thing, but I do think it's insulting at times. And so hopefully, if he does do it again in the future, I mean, look at Ricky Gervais. As controversial as Ricky was for Golden Globes, you were interested to see what he was going to do next. And that's what you're alluding to, Dan, really well, is that you want to be excited when the host pops back up. Like, oh, what's going to happen now? Like, you want to see what he or she is going to do. And I didn't feel that way about Nate at all. And as I said, I love Nate's stand-up. And so I was really surprised at how much of a dud he was hosting the show to a degree. And so it was unfortunate. But
yeah, he made me laugh. I mean, I'm not going to say I've certainly seen hosts that did not make me laugh, and I think that's worse. He made me laugh.
Well, that's true.
But it was the energy. I think the energy just wasn't quite right for the show.
Yeah, I agree. All right, one last thing. Anything on the other stuff? Outstanding television movie, Red Ridge, the reality competitions, Alan Cumming winning here, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, which is clearly, because of everything that happened, that was the confirmation from the Academy that they support him. As you said, John Oliver. Arcane won for Outstanding Animated Program. I think a lot of people were excited about that. I thought SNL 50 winning was a bit of a shock because I did not think that special was that great.
Well, that's the thing with me, because I actually, I think it's okay to say this. I had a vote in that category.
Nice.
And I voted for because I thought that the SNL 50 Homecoming concert,
that was awesome,
was by far the superior live show.
100%.
The actual 50th anniversary was fine.
Yeah.
But the Homecoming concert, the number of musical acts and set changes and lighting and camera and the getting the right shot from the crowd and getting the performance, for me on a technical level and everything else, that was easily the superior live show to the SNL 50. That to me was the one that was the most like, we're awarding Lorne Michaels, we're awarding Saturday Night Live, and so that's the one we're going to give it to. I felt that the concert was one of the best live events I've ever seen, as far on a production level.
Yeah, so many people were in the SNL 50 anniversary, especially. You imagine a majority of the Academy is friends with someone who was on that show, and maybe that influenced the votes. But I agree with you. I mean, I would put the Homecoming concert of those two. I would put the Homecoming concert, but I personally would have chosen the Super Bowl halftime show because there was no bigger cultural footprint than that Kendrick Lamar performance. That was a massive, massive thing globally. And I think that deserved much more love and the win overall here. But, I totally get it. Anything on the writing? Yeah, we saw all that stuff. I think we covered everything. Anything else you want to say about the Emmys before we go to a quick sponsor break here, Dan?
No, I feel like this was... Award shows seem cursed to have either the great winners and a not so great host, or a great host and not so great winners. Like, it'd be great if we could. Well, actually, you know what? I will say one thing, and I'll bring and I'm sorry for people that already watched my video because I brought this up there, but I think it's worth saying. My biggest gripe was not with Nate Bargatze, was not with any of the people who won, anything like that. My biggest gripe with the show, they did not show 1 second of clips from any of the shows. Not 1 second of a performance, not 1 second of a series, nothing. You saw absolutely no moments from the series, no reason to get you to watch it, and I don't understand that. All the award shows have gone to it. The Oscars barely show clips for any shows. And that really bothered me because this, I think for the television industry, this is their opportunity every single year to get their show out there, maybe to an audience that somebody who was a fan of Severance but hadn't seen The Pit, or somebody that liked The Bear but hadn't seen Adolescence. And you get a chance to show off the best that television has to offer. And they showed not even very few clips. They showed literally nothing from any show other than audio over reading the nominees.
Right.
I do not understand that decision. It is a dumb decision, and I guess maybe they think that if you're watching the Emmys, you've already seen the shows, but it is just it's dumb on a marketing level. Because that is your chance to get eyes on a show. I remember the British Office. The first time I heard of it was on the Golden Globes, because they nominated it, and instead of just if they did it the way they did now, they'd say The Office. Blah, blah, blah. And you'd see like a picture of Ricky Gervais, but I have no idea what the show was, but they would show clips and I would see, and I'd go, wow, that looks funny.
Yeah.
And that got me interested in saying, I got to find this show. And they don't do that anymore. And I don't get it. It's a stupid thing. It's a stupid decision.
It's a fair point. It's 100% a fair point, man. Yeah, it's a great commentary to make on that. And if anybody from the Academy, the Emmys, happens to be watching us right now or listening to us right now, make that change.
I'm a member. It's a member complaint. Lodge this as a member complaint.
Put it in the box.
Put it in the box. Yeah, put it in the suggestion box.
All right. Well, there you go. Let me let's go to a solo thing, Dan. And all right, thank you guys for watching this first segment. Dan and I will be back in just a second, but we've got 16 super chats, so make sure you're sending in more here as we get along. We're trying to get to 100 super chats. We'll answer them at the end of the show. But what are your thoughts about the Emmys? Let us know what you're feeling about this. Send in your super chat. Send in your thoughts. If you're watching this later, put your commentary about the Emmys. What stood out to you? What worked for you? Do you agree with Dan's commentaries on this? Do you agree with Dan's points of views on some of these opinions or my opinions? Let us know down in the comments section.